Okay, so you describe, Pugsley, what kind of music do you do? How would you describe it?
It's sort of New Orleans piano-based music. It's like jazz and blues style.
So I'll put some of his music into the tutorial as we go, but you can always hear by his voice that it's going to be cool. And like, what a face. Like when I saw this face, had to photograph it. So much character. I love the beard. The hair is awesome. So I want to do a series of portraits of Pugsley. We've got some of his musical instruments, and I want to do some natural light and build up to some more dramatic looking portraits as well. So do you like being photographed? You got any issues
well, I'm kind
about
of
it?
used to it, I guess. Mostly just when I'm performing.
Yeah.
But, occasionally we'll be playing and someone will take a photo and we'll, mug
that's
at
all
them a
right.
little bit,
Yeah. So if
pull
you're in the
face,
zone,
yeah.
you're cool. But what about this sort of situation
Well, that's
where
a
it's
little
like,
more awkward, I suppose.
do you feel a bit vulnerable and you don't know what to do? Yeah. Or where to look?
If I'm given direction, it's probably good.
Yeah.
Other times you're just going,
what do I do?
Not really sure.
So what's the worst thing a photographer's said to you, and the best thing from your experience where you felt most comfortable?
Oh, just lots of direction.
Yeah.
Turn this way a bit, turn that way.
Yeah.
Stand up straighter or slump more or
yeah,
whatever.
Cool.
Little directions like that, and maybe when they're telling you too what their intention is, I suppose. We're trying to get this mood or that mood or something like that.
Yeah, awesome. All right, let's get you on set. So what I want you to do is basically just, there's the camera, and so I want you to use your knees kind of as a prop, even if it's comfortable to hook your hands into your jeans, but basically I want you to lean forward and strong and then straight into the camera. And the reason I'm getting you to push forward is when you push forward, it just gives you a better jawline, a stronger jawline, and straight into the camera. So we're going to start with natural light, and then I'll build up so you can see when the light kicks in to the eyes, like you can see the light, and it's amazing. So let's sit down. Let's give it a go. All right, so what I want to do is get a moody shot with Pugsley and get some shadow and highlight on the face. So what I've got is window light coming in, lighting his face, and then there's fall off. When I'm exposing, I'm going to expose for the highlight side. If I expose for the shadow side, it's going to create a flatter image. So I'm going to show you the difference. So if I take a reading, Pugsley, just straighten your head. That's it. And so I'm shooting very tight. And so I've got Pugsley to sit on the stool and push his face forward. And what that does is it gives a really strong jawline. So if you have a look from the side, you can see that he's got a lovely square jaw. If he's sat back and put his face down, it's not as strong. So light coming in from here, and then it's falling off. It's hard to see on camera, but I'll show you what I mean on film. So if I take a reading for the highlight side, I'm at 100 ISO, I'm getting 2.8, and I'm at a 100th of a second, and it's a very moody shot. I've exposed for the highlights. I can now take this shot into post-processing into Lightroom, and I can actually get a lot more detail out of the shadows. If I expose for the shadows, it's a whole new look. I need to go to f2.8 at a 25th of a second. I get a lovely exposed image, but I'm starting to lose detail in the highlights, and it's a completely different look. So one window, depending on where you expose, what side, you're getting a completely different look to the shot. Now I can also change how close he is to the window, and if I bring him closer, it's going to create a stronger difference between the highlight and the shadow. So what I'm going to do, Pugsley, I'm just going to get you a bit closer to the window, and we're going to increase the contrast. So, yep. Again, so it's going to make, just expose for the, so just push your face forward. That's it. So exposing for the shadows. Just push your face forward a little bit, that's it. And chin down, eyes to me, straight. Yeah, chin up just slightly, that's it. That's great. That's great, very strong. So I'm just focusing on his eyes. And exposing for the shadow side. That's great. Now I'm going to expose for the highlight side. And we're getting a much moodier image, and the actual split lighting is a lot more, there's more contrast in the image. So, and I can pull out a lot more detail out of that shot in post-production, but I know I've got my highlights. That's looking great, Pugsley, love it. It's going to warm you up a little bit, and what I'm doing is I'm shooting horizontal so that I've got some space. Camera right, that's good. All right, and get a bit more life out of the eyes. Now, Pugsley, what I want you to do is, I just want a bit more friendliness in the eyes, just a little bit of a twinkle, like you actually know something, a little secret. So I want you to think of a secret that you have, a deep, dark secret. That's it. There you go. That's worked beautifully. And just bring your face square onto me. Square, that's it. Great. Fantastic. That's beautiful. All right, so we've got, like, we're exposing just for the highlights, and the shadow side of his face is quite heavy. Now, if this was the only light situation that you had, where you're in a narrow room and you want to bring a bit more, a bit less contrast into the shot, you can use a reflector. So, if I bring a silver in to this shot, all right, so right now I'm bringing a silver in, and you can actually see on the screen what it's doing. It's completely balanced my lighting, and now I'm getting something a lot flatter. It's a completely different vibe to the shot, and I can move that around because I can see I've got window light coming from one side of the face, the fill light, and then there's actually a stripe in the middle. So what I can do is just bring it around so that I'm getting a much more even fill. All right, and so that's super balanced, super clean, kind of flat, but maybe good for social media headshots, corporate portraits and things like that where you want a more conservative style. If you want to add some modelling, basically if I back off my fill a little bit, so I'm still getting a little bit of a highlight in there, that's going to start to change the ratio. So like I've got right up close, filling in. As I back off, I've got a little bit less, but it's still going to be slightly better than what I had without a fill in there. So let's have a look at that. All right, and that's looking quite good. And then I can back it off further, and it's going to give me slightly less fill light. And that makes a difference too. So it's all about tweaking the fill. Now, the other thing you can do is if I flip it around to the black side, I can absorb the light. So it does the opposite of fill. The light bounces in from the window, hits this and stops. So it's basically a cutter, it's cutting light. So I can bring this right up close now. All right. And let's see what happens to the light. So very moody shot, I really like it. It also really sculpts the face, and this is a good kind of lighting if you want to give the face a narrower look. So it's something called short lighting, where you shoot into the shadow side of a face. So if I now just back that off a little bit, I'm going to flip it back around to the silver side. I don't want it to be completely black and moody because I like to see a little bit of detail on the shadow side. So flip it around. I don't want it. I want a little bit of light, a little bit of mood. All right. Okay, Pugsley, I'm going to get you to now turn your face, just follow my hand and turn your face, turn your head, turn your head. That's it. All right, so I'm now shooting into the shadow side, and what this does is I've got Pugsley in profile, which is really flattering for him, but because I'm shooting into the shadow side, it's also giving an effect of, like, it's making his face look narrower. And so that actually looks really cool. All right, Pugsley, just eyes to me, please. That's great. That's beautiful. All right, think of whatever that mysterious secret that you had earlier. That looks great. Very nice. Beautiful. All right, so you can see that the changing the angle, shooting into the shadow side, makes a huge difference. Now I want to show you, if you've got someone that has a really narrow face and you want to make their face look broader, we can go the opposite way and shoot into the light side of the face. So Pugsley, I'm going to get you to now turn your face that way. Bring your, just keep your head, that's it. Okay, so now, just come around this way a fraction towards me, that's it. I'm shooting into the lit side and it completely changes the look. It's made Pugsley's face actually look broader. So just come around a fraction more to me, that's it there, that's great. So that's two completely different looks just using lighting there and playing with the ratios. So let's get you back looking that way again. That's nice. All right, that's great. And I just want you to gaze out straight ahead. Yeah, chin up a little bit. Chin down a little bit. Okay, eyes to me. That's fantastic. And the light is just beautiful. I'm just going to back off my ratios a bit. Really nice. Fantastic. So that's just a few ways that you can change the look and feel of a shot just by changing the positioning of your reflector. I just want to do one more thing, and that's show the difference between a silver and a white reflector. So the silver reflector is going to reflect a lot of light back into the shot. White is slightly softer, and so I've got a full white reflector here. And the colour's a lot more neutral, so it's going to give a very different look. So just square onto me with just cock your head, that's it. That's great. All right, it's a true look to the shot. So if you wanted to achieve something a bit cleaner and a lot more neutral looking, then the white is going to do it. So that's actually a really nice light as well. And I can also just change the angle, so I'm really filling in. And we've sort of got something that's a lot more beauty lighting. There's nowhere for shadows to hide, so it's like we've got light bouncing around and it's filling in all the lines in his face, so it gives a much smoother, softer look to the skin, which is really nice. So that's a completely different look. And then I can play again with the ratios. If I want something even brighter, I can bring that all the way in. And we've brightened it up again and cleaned up that skin tone again, so that looks really good. And then I can do the opposite and pull back. And let's see the difference. So if I pull back, I'm still going to get some of that modelling on the face. So a bit of shadow comes back, but it's got a different quality to it. We're bringing some detail into that shadow side. It's a softer kind of modelling. And I think it looks really beautiful. And just one more thing. We can actually try just filling from underneath, so we can bring a bit of, just get you to hold that as well. Now we can get a bit of detail and some highlights into the beard. There we go, that's great. All right. So that's nice, that's just changed the whole look and feel again. So there's a lot of things you can do. Play around with the reflectors and bounce boards, play with the silver, try the white, use the black. I haven't used the gold because I hate it and I never want to see anyone use it. But basically what happens with gold is it warms everything up. It was popular in the 80s and that's where it needs to